So here we are, boys and girls, the end of season review. And you'll see in a minute the end of the season results as well. So Yarrell was the star player. He ended up playing 28 games with a 7.49. Shrupp wasn't quite the player which I thought I might get. Ondiago didn't really play, but when he did, he was fine. Al Shamari was a good little signing. He's done okay. He is still only 20, so it'll be interesting to see 5 years down the line exactly how far he's developed. Tom Allen, again, 21 years old, wasn't dreadful when he did play. For 4 million, it was an absolute bargain. Mezoros played 5.5 million. Again, didn't play very often, but was more than fine for a 22-year-old. And Lucy played a reasonable amount off the bench, actually. Didn't do major things, but again, could be worth a lot more than 31 million. So here we go, boys and girls. We got an A+ for the Bundesliga, and as you can see, we did go undefeated. I did get the Steam achievement of Invincibles. We ended up winning 29 games, only drawing 5, losing none. We got 92 points on the board, and it was all down to the start of the season. Towards the back end, we did draw a few more games. Fortunately, the Champions League didn't go our way. We lost to Barcelona eventually and were out of that. The Cup, we only played youngsters, really, and 2-2 against Dortmund wasn't that bad. And we, of course, won, first of all, the very first episode of the season. We won the DFL Super Cup. So the biggest win was an 11-1 against Valberg Beek. That was in the Cup. Most memorable match was that epic 7-4 game against Bayern Munich. How and where and why that happened like that was insane. It was goals galore. Goal of the season was Acosta's 60-minute goal against Monaco. So shall we have a little look into that one? Watch goals. We want to watch the 60th minute one. So that's Muller and Lanes. So that's the first, second. I think it's this one here. Yeah, the 60th minute goal. So it goes to Lucy, to Brennan. Brennan plays it out to Kurdos. He then plays it back to Thiago. Brennan. All the way back to Jacobs there. Smith. Acosta. Muller. Lanes. Varol. Paid it back to Acosta, who started the forward move and finished beautifully. Yes, we'll like that goal. We're going to go back to here. So that was the goal of the season. Finances, we're in a bit of debt, but we're getting money. We are worldwide reputation now, so we are very good. Kruder, surprisingly, top of the shirt sales with Salami to Staden, Jose and Brennan. I would have thought Jose would have been, but apparently not. Team of the season is to Staden with Kruder and Lanes behind. Varel, Brennan, Jose and Salami. Schmidt, Dango and Deli, and Jacobs in goal. Just shows the rotation for those people. That competition awards. UEFA Champions League Player of the Season was Lanes. UEFA Champions League midfielder was Lanes. German Footballer of the Year to Staden. Salami's the average rating, and fans player of the season, young player of the season, signing of the season was Varol. Goal of the season we already know was Acosta. Top scorer, 47 goals for Testeden. He's brilliant. Most assists was Varol with 18, just proving that we did miss him when he was out injured. The goals kind of started to dry up a little bit. Most player of the matches was Testeden with 10. Highest average rating, Salami. And most passes complete per 90 minutes was actually Tom Allen. So record breakers. Most overall goals by a player in a season, Testeden's beaten that with 47. Most league goals by a player in a season, that's the same thing. 34, league goals, sorry. 34 is a record breaking. Most player of the match awards with 10 is a record breaking. Highest transfer fee for Melikov of 62 million is record breaking. So here is the timeline, the manager's timeline. We obviously start way back here with Polski, go all the way through. We are just going to play it. And then we came on. We are moving through the career here. And what we will do is we are now going to say thank you and good night. Boys and girls, before we do, we are just going to show you my profile, the attributes I ended up on. We've got 20s for discipline, working with youngsters as you expect. High tempo, brilliant play. The clubs we managed, let's go for overlay. That just proves that we haven't done anything. My manager timeline, biography, overall. Where's it? Job history. Here we go. So, Pericat, we will have a look at these teams now. Pericat, unfortunately, are nowhere anymore. They have dropped out of the Football League, so we can no longer see what they're up to. Nagari, Sambalan, a club which I really enjoyed our time here. They are currently in the Arista Super League. Let's have a look at the landmarks. So we were in charge around here, and they've gone on to play quite well. We'll go to the competition, the profile, 1.5 star current ability team, records. No, I don't want that. What do we want, boys and girls? We wanted to, I think it's general, isn't it? High performing. They have been playing quite well. They've been looking like they've second, third. So they've been in and around. They've kept up doing quite well, actually. Surprisingly, obviously there's no players in there that I recognise. They've still got quite a young squad, which is interesting. We're going to go back to my jobs. We then went and had a little time at Santa Cruz, where some of the players, maybe Eduardo Luis, didn't we sign him if I remember rightly? Joel, I don't recognise many names, but they are currently 17th in League B. So what happened here then? We got them promoted, didn't we? And then finished 15th. Unfortunately, they got relegated after that, but then they got back promoted again and have done quite well. It's only this season they seem to have dropped off. So we done reasonably well there. We we kept them afloat. They're in and around where they should be, I suppose. Would have been interesting if we've been there a bit longer. FC20, currently 15th. Unfortunately, their competition, general information, they've been up and around. They actually ended up getting relegated after we managed them. We finished 6th and then were 3rd. So I think it was here we took over and then finished 3rd. They seem to have dropped away again a little bit. We didn't spend too long here. It was more of a foothold. They've got a massive squad. Wow. But I don't recognise anyone in particular, so we'll go back to our club which I really enjoyed, Aston Villa, and have a little look through, shall we? Kern is there. Mustafa, I think. No, did we sign Mustafa, or was he already? I can't remember. I think he might have been in the youngsters. Connor Winks is still there. But a lot of players seem to have moved on. Let's have a look when they had a clear out, shall we? We're going to drop back to when I was there, which was around here. Yeah, they ended up selling an awful lot. Look, Malcolm sold to us at the time, wasn't it? And then, yeah, they've carried on selling players by the looks of it. Unfortunately, they're down in 13th. And then most recently, we were at Manchester City. So most of these players I recognise. Mitrovic, Tevez, Yamal, Kilic, Lot Van Dong. The Dong is there. Byrne is there. They've got some really good players, and they've gone on to win the last 2 leagues. They lost one, I think that was probably the season we left, wasn't it? They finished 3rd, but we won the league with them. More than happy with the Manchester City results. We won a lot of trophies there, and things carried on, really. We were there for 4 years nearly. I didn't realise we were there that long. That's 3. We've been here 4 years, and obviously we know what's happened at Stuttgart. We know our players. So now is the time to say goodbye, and then we will, I'm going to save it now, we will jump 5 years in the future, and I'll see you as we look at what happened to Stuttgart. So we have time travelled, and we are now 5 years in the future. But let's start off in the season we left. As you can see, Stuttgart were champions. So we'll just go through to today, and in 2041, they retained on goal difference by 1 goal as Bayern Munich came right the way back. Wowzers. And then they got 6 points clear of Leipzig. Bayern Munich still in and around the top 4, which is good for them. But you notice the goals for is the key here. And again, Stuttgart win. So that's what, 4 or 5 in a row now? And again, Stuttgart, wow. They've won a few in a row, this time by goal difference again. That's incredible. And then most recently, they've dropped off. They finished 3rd. Bayern Munich have regained the top. But let's see exactly how many that was in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years in a row. We did 2, so for another 4 years, Stuttgart have remained at the top of the Bundesliga. Let's just go through, shall we, the transfers. So we'll go back to, this is the season we left. No, Escardo, our sub-goalkeeper, left. But apart from that, Odegaard left for 3.8. That was a bit of a cheap... That was good deal, actually, because he was the old guy, wasn't he? And a few went out on frees. So let's look. They spent 38 million the following year. But it looks like they've had some big outs this year. Look, he's gone to Liverpool. They sold Okmar. Wow, for £107 million. Well, it's 124. Remember, we only got him for 40, so that was a great bit of business. De Giorgio finally did go for 2.8 million, and they sold Luis Jose, wow, to Newcastle, who has since moved to Real Madrid. Newcastle bought him for 106 million, and then Real Madrid for 80 odd. That's insane. And remember, they were still winning the league at this point, so they must have spent... Oh, here we go. They've spent some. They've bought in Gratia from Wolfsburg for 46. He's not great, is he? I think there are better players. Who did they let go? Tom Allen's left the club now. Brennan's left. Wow. And Onyek, they're slowly destroying the team that we put together, aren't they? They only spent 69 million. Nice on the 69, but not really much considering, as they let Danogo go as well. And then this season, no one. Thiago's gone for 47, but apart from that, no one of big value. So what are they doing? Kruder is one of their captain now. So they've got Varol, Kruder, Terstegen, Müller, Acosta, Schmidt and Jacobs all still there in the team. Salami's no longer playing much well, actually he has played one game. So Salami, Luis Alberto's there. Al-Shamarai, he's a player which I think could do bits. He's been playing bits and pieces, but played 25 games last year. Yeah, he's performing well. I expected him to come up and do some stuff. But yeah, like, Terstegen, is he still the goal machine from our seasons? 34. You know, he dropped back off, didn't he? And then came up again a little bit, but he's not up to the standards he was for us in our last season. So this is the Bundesliga, like I say. Shall we not worry about all that? Let's go to the Prem, shall we? And just see how Manchester City have done, past winners. So since we left, Newcastle have been on a run. Then Manchester United and Man City have only just won it again. Malcolm's still there, but Fortunato's still there. But most of our players, I think, will have moved on now. Bertels, Silva, Kanka, and most of them are in the process of moving on, but they've done all right, haven't they? They've stayed in and around, but the Premier League lacks one team. Let's go down to the Championship. Aston Villa were relegated. What has happened to Villa? They were relegated year before last, and they finished third last year and didn't come up. That's going to be dreadful for their finances, I imagine. 37 million, it's not that bad. But wow, Aston Villa relegated. That's insane. Shall we just have a look at the Ballon d'Or? So Malcolm's up there, second place this year. Malcolm in third for to Staden, second place there was good. And then any of our boys, Lucina, Shapshak, no. Silver won it. So I want to look at this guy. This is a guy that's now 36 and was starting to win things. He's been at Real Madrid forever. So at 31, he started to win the Ballon d'Or. And he's fallen off a cliff. Clearly his physicals aren't where they once were. But he looks all right. But I would say if we're going to Staden's probably better. So let's have a look, shall we, at the most expensive player in the world, according to this, is Adeline Ferrier, who's at Atletico Madrid, and he looks quite fruity, doesn't he? Look at those physicals. Wowzers. Crossings, he would have been something special for us, but our top player is hard to see, really. What else can we look at? The job market, Atletico Madrid jobs available. But let's just have a look and see how England have got on, shall we? Their key information. Let's have a look at the profile. So the manager is Nolan, Kevin Nolan. Stephen Bishop, Martin Paulson is key player. And they've been up and down and up and down. Currently third, second, lowest is fourth. And I've just seen something. Boys and girls, in 2030, England won the World Cup. And they are winners of the Euros in 2028. So the next Euros we're going to win. And that's cool. We're going to win the next Euros in the 2030 World Cup, according to this. So any of our boys in the England setup? Probably not. Malcolm. But yeah, so let's just have a look at the managers, shall we? So Gareth Southgate lasted 9 years. He left in 2030 as Ronald Koeman came in. Sorry, he left in 2026, and then Ronald Koeman came in and retired from management after 4 years, finishing in 2030. 2030 to 2034, lasting 3 years, was Unai Emery, who resigned. And then Ramis was sacked in 2036. So it looks like Koeman won the World Cup and then retired. And then you've got Silva. Sean Dyche does become England manager in 2038 to 2040 before being taken over by Patrick Vieira. But then Kevin Nolan is manager, and makes you sick, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, okay. But, boys and girls, that is the end of the series. So please leave a like. I just want to thank you all as well for all the support during the series. And I hope you'll join me for the Pro Fuseli Chronicles, which will start tomorrow. But if you've enjoyed that, again, please leave a like. I don't know why you'd be new, but please subscribe if you are. I've been the Masked Manager, and until next year, I have spoken.